exams are over, isn't it? I hope you all have done well. So before starting with the continuation of the second chapter, let us recall what we have learned so far. Here comes a surprise. Two of your friends are here to describe what they have learned in this chapter. Watch the video.
Hi, I'm Amrita from 8C. We can recollect the topic Indus Valley Civilization. In 1856, the British decided to lay a railway line from Multan to Lahore. The line was to be laid through Indus Valley. They could not fix the railway track on loose soil. The employees noticed some burnt bricks. They were hard and suitable for laying the track. When Sir John Marshall was the director of the Archaeological Survey of India, it revealed that the burnt bricks were the ruins of a great civilization. The civilization existed in the river valley of Indus is known as Indus Valley Civilization. The first excavation was conducted in Harappa in the present Pakistan. It was led by Dairam Sahni. The first evidence obtained from Harappa is known as Harappan Civilization. R.D. Banerjee, who led the excavation in Mohenjo-daro in the present Pakistan. The Harappan civilization stretched across the region from western part of Pakistan to Alamgarpur in Uttar Pradesh and from Kashmir in north to Narmada Valley in south. Do you know the features of cities? Yes, you know. They use hard burnt bricks. All buildings built of burnt bricks. Houses were built along the both sides of Plant Street. They were varying in structures and some houses had only one room and other had many rooms. The drainage system was made up of burnt bricks and covered with stone slab. The effective drainage system existed here. The great tank in Mohenjo-daro is called Great Bath. Mainly it is used for religious purpose. All the cities like Mohenjo-daro, Lothal and Harappa had two parts. The west was higher. It was used by administrators for administrating purpose. The east was lower. It was inhabited by common people. So, thank you. Bye.
Hi friends, I'm Laiba here to tell you the recap of the last social class. In the last class, teacher taught us 5 topics: granaries and agriculture, trade, belief system, handicrafts and occupational groups, and finally teacher taught us the fall of Harappan civilization. Now let's recap the first topic, that is granaries and agriculture. Granaries are sufficient among the ruins discovered. Cotton and rice cultivation were done. Farming was done in Rajasthan. Presence of alluvial soil. Surplus agricultural products were stored in the granaries. The grain cultivation was done in the form of revenue. In addition to agriculture, animal husbandry were also existed. The figures of animals like rhinoceros and elephants were made up of clay have been founded. There were animals like ox, goat, pig and sheep. Then teacher explained about the topic trade. The inscriptions discovered from Mesopotamia is a trade relation with Meluha. Meluha is probably Harappa. Then teacher explained about the proofs and evidences of the trade link, such as Mesopotamian seals were found on Harappa and sailing ships, clay models of sailing ships. But no evidence of the use of coins were found. Now, do you know how the Harappan civilization got its name Bronze Age civilization? Yes, teacher taught us in the last class. Copper and tin were mixed together to produce bronze. They made metals and weapons using bronze. Bronze was widely used in the Harappan civilization and get its name Bronze Age civilization.
Thank you Laiba and Amrita for giving such a beautiful explanation. So students, next time may be your chance. So listen carefully and get ready. So students, in this chapter you have learned that Indus Valley civilization started in river valley. On which river valley? Yes, it was on the bank of river Indus. So it is notable that almost all civilization emerged in river valleys. So till now we have discussed about Indus Valley civilization. There were a few other civilizations emerged in different parts of the world in the same period. They were Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization and Chinese civilization. There was a common feature for all these civilizations. Do you know common feature? Bronze tools were widely used in all these civilizations. So, these civilizations are commonly known as Bronze Age civilization. Let me repeat. Bronze tools were widely used in all these civilizations. So, these civilizations are commonly known as Bronze Age civilization. Today, we are going to discuss about Egyptian civilization. Do you know how we came to know about Egyptian civilization? It is from the diary of Howard Carter, an archaeologist. In his diary, he has mentioned about his experience of visiting the pyramid and seeing the mummy of the famous emperor Tutankhamun. This is the picture of Tutankhamun. He was a famous king of ancient Egypt. In olden days, there was a custom in Egypt to preserve the dead body of the kings. The dead body, thus preserved, was known as mummy. And pyramids were tombs where the mummies were preserved. Let me repeat. In olden days, there was a custom in Egypt to preserve the dead body of the kings. The dead body, thus preserved, was known as mummy. And pyramids were tombs where the mummies were preserved. Do you know the kings and queens of Egypt have a special name? They were known as pharaohs. You are now seeing some of the pharaohs of Egypt. Have you seen pyramids? You might have seen in movies. Let us have a look at the picture of pyramids. This was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. It was built around 4,500 years ago. They remain as evidence for the excessive use of labor and wealth. Let's now discuss more on Egyptian civilization. Egyptian civilization flourished in the valley of river Nile. Where did it flourish? It flourished in the valley of river Nile. And agriculture was their main occupation. People also engaged in weaving and production of glassware. So their main occupation was agriculture, weaving and production of glassware. Egyptians used a special script for writing. It is known as hieroglyphics. Hiero means holy and glyphics means writing. So hieroglyphics means holy writing. അതായത് പരിശുദ്ധമായ എഴുത്ത് എന്നർത്ഥം. This was the formal writing system. That is, hieroglyphics was the formal writing system used in ancient Egypt. And these hieroglyphic scripts were first converted by Champollion, a French scholar. And they used the leaves of papyrus plant for writing. They used special leaves, that is papyrus plant leaves, for writing. You will now see a short video on the script hieroglyphics.
Let's take a look at some of the hieroglyphic signs. Hieroglyphs were written in rows or columns. The alphabets were in the form of images. For example, a lion represented the letter L and a hand represented the letter D. You can read a hieroglyphic script both from left to right or from right to left. The thing that you must keep in mind is you need to understand which direction the object is facing. If it is facing left, you read it from the left side and vice versa.
Very strange, right? There was an advanced development in the field of science and maths. Egyptians, they formulated a solar calendar. It has 365 days in a year. They have 12 months and 30 days each. So 12 into 30 is equal to 360. Clear? So remaining 5 days they were set aside for celebration. Let me repeat. Egyptians, they formulated a solar calendar. It has 365 days in a year. They have 12 months and 30 days each. So 12 into 30, 360. So the remaining 5 days they set aside for celebration. So children, their next invention was a sundial, a clock which tells time by the shadow cast by the sun. So looking at the shadow of the sun, they calculated time. Next is water clock, which worked on water current, were used to determine time. So students, there was an architectural sculpture with lion's body and human head was found. It is called Sphinx. Here you can see the picture of Sphinx. Sphinx is an architectural sculpture with lion's body and human head, which shows their skill in sculpture. So children, that's all about Egyptian civilization. Let us conclude this topic by recollecting all the points that we have discussed today. So first we have learned about Howard Carter, from whose study we got information about Egyptian civilization. Next, pyramids, where these mummies were preserved. And then we studied about hieroglyphics, their script, and technological development, solar calendar, sundial, water clock, and finally about Sphinx. So children, that's all for today. So the next class we will learn a new civilization. Bye.